Hello everybody, this is Ishmael and here, and I welcome you to today's video. There is something that I want you to know and you must just understand. Hence, as a Christian, one of the strategies that I use, I never honestly take anything for granted. I never ever try to position myself where I be like, for me to know that it is the Lord who has done it, I will only focus if things are to turn out like this on, and then I keep it like that. Because listen, I try to even check in the Bible, is what I'm thinking, what I'm deciding for myself, even scriptural. That's another way you can tell on whether the path that you're taking, what you are doing, is godly or not. That is why some people, they miss out from their visitation, not due to that God is not planning to visit, or not because God has never visited them, but it is because of what they told themselves. Okay, for example, let's put it like this. You can be somebody, or picture somebody who is in a position where they be like, they know that there's the person who is about to visit them on that day, and they be like, okay, when you come to my place, make sure that you send me a text first, and then I will come out. And then they be like, oh, okay, no problem. And then while they are inside there, instead of sending a text, or that person maybe sends a text, but there's a network issue and all this, whatever might be the reason, you find that the text does not come through. And what does the person decide to do? To go and just shout or knock at the door. But just because that person said, send me a text, they can hear that somebody is knocking at the door. They can hear somebody is calling their name, but they decide not to open or to try to check if maybe who it could be. Just because they said, I'm only going to open the door if you send me a text. So the fact that someone is shouting, calling me, then they are not the one. And you find that that was the person, the actual person. And as a result, they wait, and nobody, up until when they check, maybe a day later, that day you said you will come, and you never came. And the person was like, no, I did come, but you never opened. I sent you a message, and realizing that the message was not going through, I just decided to rather just come knock. You're like, yo, really? So it was you who was knocking, or who was calling me? They were like, yeah, I was. So I left, and now I can no longer come back. I'm not sure when else am I gonna come back. I might lie. And they'll be like, oh, how I have missed my hour of visitation. So I want to talk to you, and I want to tell you that even when it comes to love related stuff, there is no perfect formula. Yes, you will know. Yes, there are things that you must look out for. It's not like you have to walk blindly, but then again, you must be ready for anything, in terms of so long as it is still God who is talking. And I want to tell you that at times you will be told. In fact, almost everybody, they are told one method or one way only on how to expect the right one. And I can also give you an example with myself. I know so well without a doubt that I was told, or we were told, even as young as we remember, as young Christians, that when you want the right one, just pray and be and the Lord will be faithful. He will bring the one. And we took it as such, that for the one, just pray to God, Lord, give me a person that loves you, and that was it. And then as we grew, we realized it is not as how it is being presented. I'm not saying that there are not people who experience it like such. They are there, but in most cases, myself, before I can conclude that something does work or not, I look at the majority. How likely does it work? If in most people this is the same manner in which it works, then I'm be like, okay, I guess we can almost even conclude that this is how this works. This is the formula for doing this type of thing. You get what I'm saying? But then again, when I realize that in majority this is not how it works, That's where I say no, there's something wrong here. Because even if this thing, someone can come and say to me it worked, what about the majority, the rest, many people there? And I'd be like, yes, we can say this is a formula, but it is most people, it is a formula that will be mainly full of complaints than testimonies, you know, than people saying, oh yeah. So that's how it is measured up. And I want to tell you that on many times it is easy. I've been a victim to what I'm telling you right now. You might have heard me maybe mentioning it if you've been following me for some time, but I am a victim to something that you find there is somebody that I've been praying for. There is somebody that I said, Lord, I described, but when they come, they present themselves, I don't recognize them. Let me tell you, it was the will of the Lord for everybody, or it was the will of God for everybody to believe in the Messiah, to believe in Jesus when he came to earth. But then still, as he came, we all know what happened. We all know that most of them, they never believed. They thought that he was not the Messiah. They doubted him and all these things. So that's why at the end of the day, you get to see how challenging all these things at the end of the day they can be. That's when we get to realize on how easy it can be to miss out from the Lord. From the very same people who are believers in the Lord, who are Christians, it is very easy for them to still miss out, not recognize the Lord. Hence we have the Pharisees who knew the word of the Lord, who could read the law, who served the Lord day and night, were dressed in robes of the Pharisees, of the people who are serving the living God. But still, when their God came into earth, they could not recognize him. They were the first people to also decline him, to reject him, you know. So that is why even you can pray and say, Lord, give me the right person, right partner, divine, but then when they come, you still don't recognize, you don't appreciate. Hence, when it comes to these matters, they need serious mental preparation, they need serious prayer preparation, and that's when it becomes easy. Sometimes that's why it's just that unfortunately nobody addresses this. The original mindset of almost everybody is that when the right person comes, I will feel it. We all picture a moment where we feel so much in love, where we'll be like, oh, this is the one. And how many times is that the case? Let me tell you, in most cases, even young teenagers, when they start dating, the very first boyfriend that she dates is the one for her. She wants to picture being married to him. You got what I'm saying? And then, but if you can check her 10 years later, she has long forgotten about that boyfriend. She can even tell herself, that that was a childish mentality. But back then it felt right because it was the in love. Hence, it's one thing to feel in love, and it's another thing to be in love with the right person, or to be with the right person. Feelings and knowing that this is the right person, they are two different things. And unfortunately, most people, they look at someone whom they feel like they love and they say this is the right one only because they are in love, and that does not mean anything. That is why my prayer is your eyes to be opened, so the right person that is right in front of you, that has already been provided, you recognize. And if they are not already provided yet, so that when they do come, you see them before it's too late. Some people, that's why they have huge regrets. They be like, I messed up, I couldn't see your value, and I wish I could turn back time. Someone came and was doing everything right, but they felt like they could not see it until that person had been taken by somebody else and they have moved on. That is how people regret. But I pray that somebody, anybody who has fallen for you, I pray, anybody divine, may the enemy not blind you. Let your eyes be open to recognize them. In Jesus' mighty name, I decree and I declare, amen. And of course, that's all I had. My details on the comment section below. See you next time.